Friends, welcome to our YouTube channel Sarabda Sattar Khan. 11th English 4.3 B an enemy of the people. ब्रेनस्टॉर्मिंग एक्टिविटीज़ एंड क्वेश्चन आंसर देखेंगे। चलिए शुरुआत करते हैं। एन एनिमी ऑफ द पीपल। पहला है कैरेक्टर मेयर पीटर स्टॉकमैन इज अ कॉन्ट्रास्ट टू डॉक्टर थॉमस स्टॉकमैन। जस्टिफाई। राइट द कैरेक्टर स्केच ऑफ डॉक्टर स्टॉकमैन। रीड द गिवन एक्सट्रैक्ट एक्ट 3। कंप्लीट द फॉलोइंग टेबल। Mayor Peter Stockman is a contrast to Dr. Thomas Stockman. Dr. Thomas Stockman is the protagonist and main character of the play. He is a medical doctor and a family man. He is also the medical officer of the town baths. He is idealistic, emotional, and motivated by the truth. He holds on to his findings and is ready to fight for the truth. However much trouble he is put to, Dr. Stockman has discovered that the baths in the town are contaminated and instructs the town to repair or close the baths. He is a true friend to the town and the community. Dr. Stockman's brother Peter Stockman is the mayor of the town and the chairman of the bath committee. He is the antagonist. He is not interested in the truth but is motivated by money and control. He is cautious and ruthless and is not bothered about the health of the people using the baths. He explains that the doctor is always filled with wild, fanciful ideas and is completely opposed to his foundings. Dr. Thomas Stockman is the protagonist and main character of the play. He is a medical doctor and a family man. He is also the medical officer of the town baths. He is idealistic, emotional, and motivated by the truth. Dr. Stockman has discovered that the baths in the town are contaminated and wants to instruct the town to repair or close the baths. He holds onto his findings and is ready to fight for the truth. When he realizes that Aslaxen and Hosted are not going to publish his article, he is ready to spend his money and print pamphlets. He is even willing to sacrifice his job for the truth. His wife believes he is a simpleton who can be easily duped. He is a true friend to the town and the community. Character, supportive character, Dr. Stockman, Catherine, and Petra. Incident at the end of the act, she promises to stand by her husband and asks children to do so too. When Petra is talking to Hosted, she continuously praises her father, calling him honest, upright, having a generous heart, and courageous lines of thought. Petra also praises Hosted for taking up her father's worthy cause. Peter Stockman, Billing, Hosted, and Skilasen. Supporting the mayor, he states that the doctor will not get a single hall or a single person to support him. He refuses to publish the doctor's article and instead agrees to publish the mayor's version. He refuses to lend his press to publish the doctor's article and refuses to take the field at the head of the Householders Association. Character Aslaxen, supportive character Peter Stockman and Hosted. Incident. He considered Aslaxen to be a thoughtful and discreet man, a man with influence with the small taxpayers. Hosted supports him because he pays for the paper and the printing of the newspaper. Dr. Thomas Stockman, Catherine, Peter Stockman, Petra, Hosted, Billing, Aslaxen. Dr. Stockman, honest and upright. Catherine, timid but supportive. Peter Stockman, cunning and corrupt. Petra, courageous. Hosted, opportunist. Billing, vulnerable. Aslaxen, coward. Describe the climax scene in your own words. Write your comments on it. Describe in your own words the incident when Hosted real intention to help Dr. Stockman is exposed. Write down the consequences of the following occurrences with the help of the play. The climax of Act 3 occurs when Dr. Stockman notices the mayor's official hat and office staff stick in the newspaper office. Because of this discovery, Dr. Stockman realizes that the mayor must have visited Hosted and Aslaxen in order to stop the publication of the report. Through his influence, he quickly concludes that the mayor must be hiding from his in the other room. At this moment, the doctor is still convinced of everyone's support for his report, and on discovering his brother's attempts to manipulate the press, he is further encouraged to give him a piece of his mind. With this confidence, the doctor puts on the mayor's hat himself and opens the door to the room, mocking the mayor in the process. This leaves Peter enraged. The doctor's moment of confidence is short lived as he quickly finds that Hosted and Aslaxen no longer wish to print his report. They accuses Dr. Stockman's concerns as being imaginary and state that printing the report would offend the public opinions of the paper, and hence they declare that they will not print it. On seeing everyone turn against her husband, Mrs. Stockman, who initially had concerns about the consequences of the report on her family, overcomes her anxiety and offers her support to her husband. Disheartened but not defeated by the betrayal, Dr. Stockman pledges to reveal the report to the public one way or the other, including issuing a pamphlet or renting a hall to hold a public meeting and reading aloud to the people. To this, the mayor remarks that nobody will be willing to rent a hall to Dr. Stockman. The act ends when the doctor stating that if a hall cannot be arranged, he will march around the town with a drum and read the report aloud. Mr. Stockman offers her resounding support to her husband's resolve and they leave. Initially, Petra has a good opinion of Hosted. She thinks that he is helping her father because her father is an honest and upright man. However, when he says that he is doing it because Dr. Stockman is her Petra's father, he reveals his true colors. He hints that one of the reasons he is supporting her father is to get on Petra's good side. When she gets angry, he tries to tell her that she must not speak so bitterly to him because her father needs his help. At this indirect emotional blackmail, Petra gets even angrier and leaves the office. Stockman wants an article exposing social evils to the printed in the newspaper. This enrages Dr. Stockman's brother, who sees this an attack on his authority and reputation as the mayor of the town. Consequently, the mayor decides to provoke the people against the doctor. Mayor Peter Stockman persuades Mr. Hosted and Mr. Billing from printing the article. Both Hosted and Aslaxen believes the mayor's lie that Stockman report is based on his imagination and is far from the truth. This makes them turn against Dr. Stockman and his cause, and they decide to instead print the statement given to them by Mayor Peter Stockman. Slaxon declares that he would not print Dr. Stockman's article, as Slaxon had initially supported the doctor in his decision to print the report. Dr. Stockman is disappointed at his refusal to do so. Moreover, as this betrayal was a result of his brother's manipulation, the doctor is furious with Slaxon and resolves to make every effort to reveal the truth to the public. Catherine encourages Dr. Stockman. This instills confidence in Dr. Stockman, who by this point has been betrayed by everyone. With the assurance of his wife's support, Dr. Stockman doubts disappear, and he openly challenges the men to stop him for being a true patriot and doing the right thing. The setting of the act is in the office of the newspaper, the Herald. Explain the use of the following property. Explain the following statements. The setting of the act is the office of the newspaper, the Herald. The most shocking betrayal of the act occurs in the newspaper office. It is here that Dr. Stockman learns that the mayor has successfully managed to convince Hosted and Slaxon to not print the report. The newspaper office is a symbol of the role of media in society. By manipulating the newspaper man, it is implied that the mayor has manipulated the media. Thus, the setting highlights the fact that Dr. Stockman has been betrayed by the media as a whole. As in an ideal society, the media must remain unaffected by the influence of politicians and always strive to report the truth. The setting of the betrayal of the truth is the newspaper office highlights the play's theme of the corruption of the media. Hat and stick. The hat and stick represent the power of the mayor. Dr. Stockman thought that the People's Messenger would publish his article and there would be a new revolution in the town. He thought that he would have the social forces behind him and that he would be taking power away from his brother, the mayor, thus taking away the mayor's official hat and cane, is symbolic of this. When the doctor realizes that his article is not going to be printed and that his brother would continue as mayor's, he gives back the symbolic hat and stick. He realizes that he is the one without power now. And then once the ring broken, well, get to work. This is said by Hosted to Billing. When they decide to publish the doctor's article, this means that once the article is published, either the whole of the householders association will turn against the mayor, or the whole crowd of large shareholders in the baths will turn against him. This will show the public how incompetent the mayor is, and the ring of politicians will be broken. Hosted also wants all the positions of trust to be put in the hands of the liberals. From now on, the Herald. Dr. Stockman is thrilled that his article is going to be printed. He tells Hosted and his companions that he will now expose all the corruption in the town through the pages of the People's Messenger. The newspaper would be his weapon for exposing the corrupt politician before the eyes of the honest public and crushing them. You ought to be ashamed. This is said by Petra to Hosted when he reveals his true colors. Hosted hints that one of the reasons he is supporting her father is to get on Petra's good side. He also says that Dr. Stockman needs his Hosted's help more than ever now, indirectly suggesting that Petra could not be angry with him now. This makes her even angrier and she tells him that he ought to be ashamed of himself. Because your father can't do without my help. This statement was made by Hosted to Petra. When Petra is angry with him for taking on father's cause for the wrong reasons, Petra tells Hosted angrily that he has made fools of both her and her father and that she will never forgive him for that. At this point, Hosted says that her father cannot do without his help if he wants his article to be published in the People's Messenger. And it's by no means. This is said by Peter Stockman to Hosted and Slackson. He explains to them that if Dr. Stockman's article about the contamination of the baths is published, alterations will have to be made in the baths. These alterations will cost a lot of money, which will have to be provided by the people of the town. As the people were not wealthy, this would mean a big sacrifice on their part. उम्मीद है आपको हमारा वीडियो पसंद आया होगा। अगले वीडियो में दोबारा मुलाकात होगी। खुदा हाफिज़।